Welcome! Today, we're diving into something really cool, a playbook that teaches 7th graders to think and write with the same precision as professional food safety experts. It's an amazing masterclass in clear, evidence-based thinking, and honestly, there are lessons in here for all of us. Let's get into it.
So let me ask you a question. What on earth could a high-stakes industrial food safety lab possibly have in common with a 7th grade classroom? It seems like two different worlds, right? Well, the answer is way more interesting than you might think. It all comes down to a shared mindset.
And that connection? It's the playbook. They literally use the exact same rigorous framework for how they report what they find. Through this program called Ascensio Vitae, these kids aren't just learning science, they're learning the discipline of professional communication, where being clear and being honest is everything.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the mission behind the playbook. Then we'll get into the 4 core questions that are the heart of every single report. After that, we'll dive into the difference between just observing and actually assuming, then talk about explaining results while knowing their limits, and finally, we'll see why all of this matters in the real world.
Okay, let's kick things off with the PROS playbook itself. The whole mission here is to completely change how a student thinks. They're taught to stop thinking like a student who's just trying to get an A and start thinking like a quality assurance inspector who has a really critical job to do. So what does that even mean, right? Well, it means a QA inspector's job isn't about finding some cool, exciting result. It's not about impressing anyone. Their one and only responsibility is to report the evidence, plain and simple. No guessing, no exaggeration, just the facts.
All right, let's get to the real heart of this entire system. It all boils down to a super simple but incredibly powerful framework. And it's all built on just 4 questions. This is the logic that supports every single professional report in the industry.
And here they are. Number 1, what was tested? Number 2, what was observed? Number 3, what does the evidence support? And number 4, and this one is absolutely crucial, what are the limits of the claim? If you can answer these 4 questions in order, you've got a conclusion that's clear, honest, and totally defensible.
Now, let's really dig into those first 2 questions. What was tested and what was observed? This is all about getting the foundation right. It's about drawing a really sharp line between what you did and what you saw. That's the critical difference between objective reality and just assuming.
You see, any report worth its salt has to start with a super clear objective. This tells the reader exactly what was tested, a surface, a food sample, whatever. It tells them what comparison was being made, and it confirms that the test itself was fair. If you don't have that first step, your results are pretty much meaningless.
And wow, this slide right here, it just says it all. Look on the left, you see weak reporting full of big assumptions, like the word sterile. But on the right, you see strong reporting. It just describes what was seen. No visible microbial growth was observed. It's not a guess, it's not a judgment call, it's just a fact. And that distinction is everything.
And this brings us to one of my favorite lessons in this whole playbook. If you get a result that says no growth, it can feel like a failure, right? Like nothing happened. But in professional science, that could not be farther from the truth. A no growth result is actually a valuable and really valuable piece of data. So you're probably asking, okay, why is no growth such a big deal? Because it tells a story. It could mean your cleaning procedures actually worked, which is great news. It might mean that microbes are there, but their numbers are so low you can't see them. Or it could mean the conditions just weren't right for them to grow. Each one of those is a critical insight for a company.
Okay, so that brings us to the last 2, and maybe the most important questions in the framework. Explaining what the evidence supports, and then admitting its limits. This is where real evidence-based thinking meets a little professional humility.
So, you've reported what you saw, now you have to try and explain why it might have happened. But, and this is a big but, these aren't just wild guesses. They have to be logical connections based on evidence. Things like the cleaning methods you used, how much dust was around, or how often a surface gets touched.
This table is the perfect example of understanding your limits. Just by looking at something growing in a petri dish, you can make a general claim. You can say, hey, that has the characteristics of bacteria. What you absolutely cannot do is claim you know these specific species, like saying, oh, that's E. coli. That requires more tests, and admitting that is a critical professional boundary.
Look, at the end of the day, here's the bottom line. Saying what you don't know is just as important as saying what you do know. In the professional world, being honest about the limits of your data doesn't make you look weak. It does the exact opposite. It builds trust. It builds credibility.
So let's tie all of this together.
You might be thinking, okay, this is a pretty intense system for a bunch of 7th graders. And you'd be right. But here's why it matters so much. This isn't just a classroom project. It's training for the real world, where what you write has real consequences.
Because get this, those reports from the 7th graders, they don't just disappear into a grading pile. They actually get passed up to 9th grade companies who are developing their own food products. And those older students use these reports to make actual decisions about their product's safety. The stakes are very real. And because of that, the writing has to be professional grade. It has to check all these boxes. It needs to be crystal clear, totally neutral, based only on the evidence, and professionally cautious in every single claim it makes. This is the kind of writing that people can actually trust to make important decisions.
There's this one line from the training manual that I think just perfectly captures the whole point. You are not writing to please a teacher. You are writing to inform a company. It just totally reframes the entire task, doesn't it? It's a huge mindset shift from students to professional.
And really, what is this all for? It boils down to this. Good QA work protects consumers, processes, integrity. This whole disciplined way of thinking and writing, it isn't just about science, it's about protection. It protects people from getting sick, it protects a company's methods from failing, and it protects the integrity of everyone involved. So I want to leave you with this question to think about. This playbook for clear, honest, evidence-based communication is incredibly powerful. So where in your own world, maybe at your job, in your community, or even just in conversations online, where could applying these same principles make a real difference?